Hi everyone, welcome to MarikaCreations. Today I will share with you how much fun I had in my workshop. I have made creatures out of wood, metal and some cheap skin. So those combination turned into creatures. So stay tuned for this. This is some of the pieces that I might use for my creatures today. Some wood pieces, some metal pieces. And I wish I had some driftwood, but I don't, so I will just take what I have on hand here at home. So let's get started with my first creature of today, and I will use this cricket ball mallet, just cut off the handle and use the top part of it. I do that with my Japanese handsaw, and this creature will be sort of I don't know, they're all fantasy, but something a sheep or a goat or something similar like this. And this piece I'm holding here will be its head and the horns. So it will go like that in the front. I will add a neck as well, but I will cut off that top piece so it will look more like two horns. And some rusty nails for the legs, but they are different sizes, so I will cut them so they are equal length. So here is hubby cutting the nails for me. No, he's cutting the head piece off there. You can see me and the camera moving away from the fireworks. And now I am drilling a hole in the sort of forehead of that goat creature so I can attach it to the wood piece. So here I'm marking out where to drill holes for the legs, so I will attach the legs with some adhesive, the same as I will do with the head. This video is part of the What Would You Make challenge hosted by Rustic and Lace DIY and Divine Designs, and their guest host for this month is Happy Tuesday. I will leave links down in my description box to their channels, as well as a link to the playlist of this challenge for more wood decor ideas. The holes are ready, and here I come with the adhesive, pressing it down the holes and pushing in those legs, wiping away the excess. Still have a little bit there, but I will take care of that later on. Now for the head. The screw that I will use is quite long, but I will put 2 screw nuts on it to give it sort of a neck. So I will place it in the pilot hole and then screw it into place. First by hand, but it was too tough for me, so I went in with the electric one, and that did the trick. There we go, looks like a creature already, doesn't it? Now I have some decorative nails that I will cut off the actual nail, just keep the nail head, and I will use them for eyes to cover up that screw there so it doesn't look like a cyclope. A little bit of adhesive on top of that screw head, and then place my decorative nails on top there and let it sit to dry. There we go. And it has dried, and it looks quite ugly, and it was very tough to remove, so I decided to paint that excess glue with some acrylic paint, some brown, some black and some green, just dot it around a little bit, not too much, and I was okay with that process. And here I have just a piece of metal wire that I will use for its tail, and I'm just painting it a little bit with my moody colors. And I will put some wood glue in that pilot hole and press that metal wire inside, curl it in the end, and then I will put on a little bit of sheepskin on the end of that tail, fluff it up a little bit, and then I will have a tiny bit of sheepskin on top of his back as well. I still want the wood to show. So from a pile of rubble to a creature, and up close it looks like this. I am happy with the result. It does look like a creature. Could be a goat, could be some sort of sheep. I don't know. What do you think? If you're new to my channel, hi! I am Marika, and on this channel I do lots of DIYs, thrift flips, trash to treasure, renovation of my home, and I even do some pottery and some painting, anything creative really. Please join me, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and let me inspire you. On to creature number 2, and I will use this piece of firewood, but it looks quite rough at the moment, so I will pin it down and use my grinder to make it a lot smoother. This creature will be bird-like. I think this piece of wood sort of has the shape of the body of a bird. So this is how it looks, pretty smooth. I will use this vintage compasses as the head and the beak, and this metal rod as the legs. I just need to cut it in half, so I have 2 legs like that, but they are a little shiny, so I need to paint them. First I started out with some black spray paint, dried that, and then I went in with my browns, black and green acrylic paint and just aged them a little bit. And then I will protect the colors with a coat of my spray varnish. Now I'm drilling some pilot holes to fit the legs like that, looking good. Now attach them with some wood glue and set them aside to dry. Now on to the head. I have to pinch down the head with this big staple because we couldn't drill through there. They made some serious tools back in the days. So I made some pilot holes for my staple, and now I'm just taking the hammer and attach that beak. But it's shiny, so here we go again with some brown, black and green to age that staple to make it fit in with the other pieces. I have aged a wood round with my grinder to make it old world looking sort of, and now I will attach my bird to it with some wood glue. Now I have some sheepskin as well to add. I made a couple of holes in it to fit the legs. I'm putting the legs inside like that first and then attach it to the wood round, wiping off the excess glue and put the sheepskin into place. Et voila, from a pile to a bird. I think it looks quite creative. I love how it turned out. And now on to creature number 3, and it will be quite big. I have this rebar that I will use for its legs, quite a thick one. And I have this pitchfork that I will use for the antlers because I'm making an elk. And I have this piece of firewood that I once made into a lady that was pregnant, but it broke, and now I will use it for something else. So I'm just marking out where I need to cut off that piece, round it a little bit, and make it look like a body of an elk or a moose. And here is hubby cutting off that metal end of the pitchfork. I don't need the handle. And here again, it's sturdy what they did back in the days, because getting that piece of wood out of that metal piece, that was a struggle. He used his drill and used his hammer and so forth, and eventually he made it. The wood piece is cut to size. Now I just need to take my grinder and round off the piece and make it look pretty. And here hubby is taking the bolt cutter and cutting the legs to size, cutting off pieces of that thick rebar. And I couldn't do it, so he used all his force to get those pieces cut. And here hubby is helping me drilling some holes in the wood body to fit the rebar legs. And we will just hammer them into place because it was quite a tight fit. And we are drilling holes in a wood round as well that the creature will stand on. Just marking it out, drilling. But before I touch it, I will grind it and make it beautiful, sand it, etc. Now it's time to attach its head, and I'm drilling a pilot hole for that right there. And it will look something like this, just attaching it with a long screw. And drilling a hole for the tail as well, a piece of wire, a couple of pieces that I will just twist and fit into that hole. But first I will make it a little bit more vintage looking, rusty and such, with some black spray paint, some brown and green acrylic paint. And once dry, I will put some wood glue in that pilot hole and just push that metal wire into place and curl it a little bit. I've done that already, you can see that. Now to add some cheap skin, and I will cover that screw on its forehead so it looks like it has a fringe covering up the eyes. I will put some wood glue on that sheepskin and just press it into place. And again a pile of rubble into a moose. And a closer look. I am obsessed with this creature, my moose. You can see we made 2 holes for its nostrils as well. Rustic piece of art, I don't know, you tell me. Anyways, I love it. On to creature number 4, and I will use these leftover wood pieces that comes off when we drill bigger holes. So I have saved them, and for a good reason, I think, because now I will use a couple of them. It will look like this one end and the same on the other end, and I will make a little snail, and this metal piece will be bent into shape and it will eventually look like a snail, I think. So now I am sanding off the pieces, making them nice and smooth and round all the edges. And I do that on my belt sander, as you can see here. Now I will glue some pieces together. These 2, the second largest pieces, I will just clamp them together, let them sit for a while, and the tiny pieces as well. I have 3 of them, so they are long enough. Here I have taken the metal piece, which will be the body of the snail, and I'm just bending it into shape. And it has a lot of holes in it, and I will cover up those holes with my decorative nails, cutting off the nail, just saving the nail heads. So I'm taking some adhesive and put a nail on the back and on the front, and where I think I will see some eyes as well. If snails have eyes, sort of, I don't know, it's a creature, it's a fantasy imagination, so it doesn't have to look like a real snail at all. I have put some nails as antennas, and now spray it black. I am putting on some acrylic paint here to make it more vintage, rusty looking, some brown, some green all over the piece, and then I will spray it with a spray varnish to protect the colors once completely dry. I have attached all the wood pieces together with some wood glue, and it looks like a snail shell now, doesn't it? And now I am making a hole right through the piece that will fit a nail like that. You will see why in a minute. I took a bigger nail that will be much sturdier, and I will attach it to its body like that, just hammering away. I was a bit anxious here, I didn't want to split the wood, but I did all right. Look at that, it's so cute. And now for the last bit, the sheepskin, and I've taken just a strip of it and cut off most of the wool on one side, and it will sit on that. And you know, snails always has a trail of something, so why not some sheepskin? From a pile to a snail. And I think it turned out super cute. For my final creature, I will use this wooden bowl. I have started to sand it already to make it nice and smooth. And I first thought that this bowl was sort of stained in a very dark stain. So I was thinking, why not take that stain off? And then I oiled it once I was done, and it's the same color as before. It's apparently very dark wood. As you can see, it's nice and smooth now, but it's the same color. But I don't mind. I will use it as is. I will use this garden tool for its head, 2 horns and a neck, and I will bend the horns into place, or the antlers, or whatever you might call it. I don't know what creature it will turn out to be. You tell me at the end. So I'm having a hard time bending these horns, and the head broke off, so I couldn't use it anymore. So we are using the handle of this garden tool instead to make the head out of. Have to be creative here. The first idea goes down the drain, you think of another thing. So it will look something like this. It looks like an elk as well, doesn't it? Sort of. I don't know. Anyways, rounding off the top of that just cut off handle to make it nice and smooth. And then hubby here is helping me make a huge hole here for the head to be attached. We have carved out a little bit on the top of the piece and made a pilot hole there as well to fit the horns. So now a little bit of glue and attach it with a tiny screw like this. Some wood glue in that hole and just press the head into place. If you like this video and videos like this, consider subscribing. Maybe share the video with a friend and hit that like button as well. It will help my channel to grow, and I can spend more time creating inspirational content for you. My aim is to upload 1 video per week. I have made some holes for the tiny metal legs, just pushing them into place with some wood glue. And from that pile to a creature. Look at that, it's so cute, and a little tiny bit of sheepskin on its head. Looking adorable, I think, and I braided some metal wire for its tail. So tell me, what do you think of my creatures today? Did you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments. And here they are all together. If you are inspired and you want more inspiration straight away, head on over to my description box and hit that link to the playlist of this challenge for more wood decor ideas. Thank you so very much for watching. See you soon again in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.